is all dependent on the size of your mouth. A lot of people like to do this, the big lips, the big open duck face, right? You're not supposed to do that. I'm sorry, but that's just not, you're not going to blow O's because your teeth get in the way, your mouth, your lips are all extended. You have no shape. That's not going to give you at all any kind of shape that you need. So the first thing you do is you want to make an O. Some people like to show their teeth. I personally do because I feel that your teeth give you a rigid line on the top. A lot of people can't get that line with their mouth. I certainly can't because I have big lips. So the first thing that you want to do is make your mouth into a perfect O. And we'll get into different sizes and whatnot later. But that is the first thing you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is to make sure that you are using your tongue properly. And we're going to go into that in just a minute. So the first thing you do, I'll show you how to do a couple of different sizes of O's. Now, here's what a normal O should look like without anything else. This is just with a cough. And that's another thing that we'll start on as well. So here's a couple of good-looking O's that utilize the shape of your mouth. Okay, so there you go. There's a couple of good O's. Now, the first thing that you need to learn, I'm saying the first thing a lot because there's a lot to learn first. So I'm just giving you the information. Do with it what you will, but understand that this is the information you're going to need to practice and deploy this information. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into breathing techniques. Now there are 3 different ways that you can do this, but there's only 1 or 2 that are actually usable. So the first thing that I like to do is make a little bit of a cough. It's a very soft cough. You're not like you're not doing some kind of ridiculously big cough. It's a tiny little cough. And what you're doing is you're pulling back at the very end of the cough. It's a small. It sounds weird as fuck, but still, you have to understand that's what you need to do in order to get a sick O. At least for me, in my opinion, that's how it works for me. So you'll see when I do a little tiny cough, it looks like I'm just popping them out. I'm not doing anything. It's a tiny, 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 tiny cough. I can't emphasize enough how small that cough needs to be in order to get it. And you'll learn to control the cough, and here it goes. Okay, so you can barely hear it, but it's there. So there's the cough. Now the second thing that you need to know as far as coughing goes is your tongue placement is also incredibly important. And now there are, I'd say, 3 different ways to do a tongue placement depending on what you need to do. For very big O's, flatten your tongue out, push it up the bottom of your teeth, against the bottom of your teeth right where your gums are, and flatten your mouth out. Your tongue needs to be perfectly parallel with the bottom of your mouth. After that, you'll blow really big, thick O's, because when you open your mouth big enough, it gives basically the smoke or the vape enough room to push out and give you a solid O. And here's how that works. Nice big thick O's, that's what you need. So, and that all depending on kind of tricks you want to do. If you're doing something, for your friends, or if you're doing for a video, or whatever trick you're doing, that's big O's are important. So next, I figured this out myself because it took me forever, but I finally got it. So the thing that you need to know about how to use your tongue with the cough. A lot of people like to move their tongue without coughing, just to push the smoke out like this. Now, while that works, it does not work as well as the cough. However, if you combine the two, and it does take practice, I will tell you this. I'm straight up warning you. It takes practice. Sorry about that. So the next thing you need to do is combine those 2 movements. If you can push your tongue out and pull it back right after the cough, what that does is it allows you to push out O's faster, thicker, and better whenever you're pushing the smoke out of your mouth. Make sure to constantly exhale a steady stream, and like very small amount. You want to do it as much or as very little as possible, but what you're doing is you're feeding a supply of vape. A lot of people run out because they're holding their windpipe close. So watch, this is the way that I do it as far as blowing fast O's out using the tongue and cough method. can get O's out way quickly by doing that, and it makes O's a lot easier to do, and you'll get more comfortable with that as you go. But still, that is the best way to get that done. As far as spamming O's, if you're going to do a lot of O's, that's another way. Finally, the last thing that you can do, and this is a lot more for like speedy O's or kind of like trick shot, maybe even sniper shot kind of O's, is to pull your tongue back. Here's your tongue, pulling it back and lifting it up like that will create a draft. Now, the science behind an O, just as a quick rabbit trail here, the science behind an O is that the airflow of an O in and of itself, as far as vape goes, whenever you blow that out of your mouth, you're creating like a flux in the actual pattern of the air. So you're pushing air out in such a way that the center of that air is not going as fast as the outside, because it curls as it leaves your mouth. That curl is what creates the O. So when you're blowing out, you'll see the smoke trail like this. What that motion right there, it is spinning inside of itself the entire time, and that's what creates that flow. That's why it goes forward. That's how an O works. So whenever you do that, what you're doing is you're creating a flux in that displacement of the air. So moving forward, this is why you need to do this. When you lift your tongue up, that adds to it. So what you're doing is like pre-bending the air inside of your mouth to add to the curl of the air. And this does take practice, but it works really well. So here's another way of doing that. I'll show you how to do it. You'll see that the O's go much farther and much faster than the other ones did. Now, it is harder to get a thicker O because of this, but what it does do is it allows for an O that will travel much further and much faster and make it smaller. Another way to add to this effect, if you're doing trick shots, is to make your mouth smaller. It does take practice. So here's the regular size. You look like an idiot, but still, remember, this is for the technique. Here's the small size O. You want to relax your mouth completely and make an O like that. Takes practice. But imagine like putting your mouth around a pencil, right? That's exactly what you want. And that size will make a really perfect small O, but you will have to cough a lot less. So here we go. And that will also allow for you to do a lot faster O's, because it opens up a cleaner amount of space between your mouth and the O. The further away the O is, by the time you go for the next one, it will be better for you as far as spamming. So you want a clean amount of air in front of you, because other vape in that airspace will distort the O. That's the basics on how to do O's. My next video will be on tornadoes, as well as what kind of mods you can use, what your RDAs are, and like what you can use to really get a lot of clouds without having to mod your RDA to the ends of the earth. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave comments if you have any questions. I love seeing your guys' questions. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. This has been Minty Mechanic, and peace out.